Hello everyone. I'm so excited to do this video for you. I'm so excited to do what I'm about to go do. So this is the annual Salvation Army Fabric Fair. What is that, you might be asking? So certain Salvation Armies, not all of them, but certain ones, will save up all the donations they get throughout the year that are craft related, that are sewing related, fabric, yarn, anything along those lines. And then they have an annual sale. Actually, I think it's Philadelphia, no, Pittsburgh, one of the two. It does a semi-annual sale, but this particular one here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, is once annually. So they have everything. It's a 2-day sale. First day, everything is whatever price they have marked. Second day, everything is half price. I always go the first day. And so we are here. I'm so excited. I don't even know what I'm going to get, but every year it's fantastic. It's wonderful. So I'm going to get a little footage so you can kind of have an idea of what the sale is like, or, you know, what there might be. And then at the end of all of that, I will show you everything I bought once I'm back home. And anyways, I'm so excited. So let's do this. Okay, so we are approaching here and there's a line already, 7:43. So doors open at 8, maybe a couple minutes early. We will see. So in the past, I do not remember the blinds being open, so this is kind of exciting that they aren't open. Kind of see, so this is the main room. There's generally 3 kind of areas at this sale. Just can't see the whole room. Okay, so here is everything I bought. I have to apologize, I did not get any more footage. I had all intentions of clipping, you know, making a couple clips of the sale and what was there, but I forgot all about it. And honestly, there wasn't nearly as much as there normally is. I mean, it had to have been less than half of what I have seen there in previous years. So till the time the rush was over, it was mostly gone. But I'm gonna lay all this out and show you everything that I got. I spent a total of $164 and a little change. Don't remember exactly what, but $164 total. Okay, so here is all the fabric, and I'm going to go through it one by one, and I will show you the make. Most of it is name brand, like good quilt shop quality cotton. Not all of it, but most of it. I sometimes make exceptions if I find it particularly favorable. So average price per yard, or their standard price, it seemed like this year, is $1.25 for a yard. Fantastic price, regardless of the make. Okay, so $1.25 is their baseline, their baseline price. There may be a teeny bit of fluctuation, but that's the baseline. I want to also mention, I said in the video when I was showing you in the window where the blinds were up, that was the biggest room of typically 3. Well, just so happens there were not 3 this year. There was only that main room and the entryway. So that additional room, which would typically have like all the needlework stuff, all the different like thread and things like that, it was all in that main room. And then in the entryway was the pattern books and the patterns. So what you saw was basically what was there. There was, you know, some more things that I couldn't get footage of, but that room was the entirety of it this year. So I guess they just must not have gotten quite as many donations, but still fantastic. So let me show you all of this. Okay, so I kind of laid these out so that, excuse me, I could read you the brand name and the price, but some of it's upside down, but I will verbally say it all. So I apologize for that. Just so happens how they fold it and where they put the sticker, it just may not necessarily work out just right. in conjunction with where the printing is on the salvage. So this is Peter Pan Fabrics. This has a, I don't know if you can see it, but a pretty silver metallic accent to it. I'm a sucker for metallics and fabrics. There's a couple weaknesses I have. Actually, it's probably more than a couple, but metallics are one. So this was $1.25. And then I have some Mermaid Underwater Tonal for Springs Creative Products. This is not like a super fantastic quality, but it's not terrible either. And this was $2. And then we have Brother Sister Design Studio, 2017. And there is a pattern number here. And this is a $5 piece, so probably about 4 yards. Some of the tags will say the yardage, some of them do not. And I did discover a little bit of variation in price. Some modas, I think, were a little higher, but still a fantastic price point. Okay, now this was rolled up in a roll, and these fabrics were all 3 for $1. Well, it just so happens till the time I made it to these rolls, there really wasn't much there. You kind of have to be strategic about where you go and, you know, what you want selection of, because it just goes. So I couldn't find anything else I liked, so I got this one roll, and when I got up to pay for it, they charged me $0.25, I believe, so it was even cheaper. This is actually a Hobby Lobby, I think. Yeah, it is actually Hobby Lobby, but I just thought it was beautiful. So this is probably about 2/3 of a yard here. It's a fairly decent sized piece. So fantastic deal. There is a little snippet out here, but even still, it's probably 2/3 of a yard. So $0.25 for that one. Can't beat that, right? This is a vintage Care Bear. Sometimes I just can't resist some of the vintage fabrics. Not the best quality, again, but it's super cute. Don't know what year it's from, but you can see it says Springs and then American Greetings Corp. And this was $1.50. And then this is like a metallic, I don't know what this is supposed to be exactly, but you can see it. It's the English Collection by David Textiles. So this is $3. And then Leslie Beck for VIP Fabrics, a Cranston print. This is kind of a border print. So there's the apples along the bottom, or along the edge, I should say. And then just some more delicate apple pattern with some writing in the background. This was $3. Faye Liverman Burgos for Marcus Brothers. This is $2.50. And batik. This is another one of my weaknesses, folks. I love batik. I love the process. If you have never watched how batik fabric is made, I highly recommend you Google it. Watch a YouTube video. Fantastic. I mean, it's just so cool. The creativity and, you know, just how they do it. So this was $2 for a yard. I don't know if it's exactly $2 or exactly 1 yard, or if it's a little more, or if they just charged more because it was batik. I don't know, but I couldn't resist it. I just love the vibrancy. Okay, another fabric with some metallic detail. Beautiful fall print. Autumn's Charm by Hoffman International Fabrics. This says 4 yards and it was $5. Beautiful. Now this interested me. So this is 2.5 yards. It was $3.20. And this is kind of cool. Laura Ashley fabric. Have not seen that. I'm sure Laura Ashley fabric hasn't been made in a while. At least I'm assuming maybe it has. I don't know. But that was neat. So I picked that up. And then we have some Moda Reflections by Joe Morton. And it says, so it has the item number or pattern number. In teaching others, we teach ourselves. Gorgeous print. Just gorgeous. And, oh, I gotta tell you how much this one was. Where'd the tag go? Oh, I had it. I'm so sorry. I had it here. Must have lost it. Where did it go? Okay, so 3 yards for $4.25. So this has been priced a little bit higher, but I'm fine with it. Still fantastic. Another Moda. Rachel Remembered, I think, 1820 to 1850. So it's a timeline print by Betsy Cutchin, and it's peony. Gorgeous, love it. I have a thing for florals too. 2 yards, $3.50. And we have the Sumsbury Collection by Free Spirit. Now this, it almost looks like it has a metallic accent, but it does not. Just the way it's printed. And this was $1.25. Saratoga by P&B Textiles, 2002. Another very pretty print, vibrant colors. And another Moda. Okay, so this is Elijah's Indigo by Betsy Cutchin again. And this is, oh my, Waccamaw River. Another timeline print. Fabric print. 1810 to 1830. Beautiful, delicate print. And then we have Signature Classics by Oakhurst Textiles. This one's $1.50. And a pine cone, kind of fun, right? Now this does have a little bit of metallic, kind of right here and right here. Not a ton. Springs Industries. And this was $2.50 for 2 yards. Now this one, there is no salvage with anything printed, but you can see it's a nice fabric. It'd make a nice background for something. This is 1 7/8 of a yard for $2.50. And a white on white. I love white on whites. Cream on whites, whites on cream. I think they're so neat. A lot of times though, they don't have markings on the salvage, and this one does not. But it's a very nice one. Kind of see there? Beautiful. So this is 2.5 yards for $3.25. And another Moda, Regency Blues by Christopher Wilson Tate. Alnwick Castle, timeline print, 1870, and it says Christopher on his quilt travels around the British Isles. Which this print kind of surprises me as 1870. I guess I'm not real familiar with my 1800s prints. So this was 2 yards for $3.50. Okay, and then we have a Joanne. This is Maker's Holiday Fabric. There is metallic detail on this. You can kind of see it's the gold there. Oh, and this is designed in Hudson, Ohio. So, till I made it to the seasonal fabrics, it seemed like there was a little more selection there. So, you'll probably see a little more seasonal fabrics than I typically pick up. And then, I don't know how you say that. Zone Stroll Sunbeam Cotton and Steel, a division of RJR Fabrics. And this says it was printed in Japan. Don't know how to say that. I'm not going to try. My apologies for not being able to pronounce the lingo. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But cute. Kind of like a fan print. $1.25 for that. And then this is Cape Cod by Paintbrush Studio. We have a pattern number. This is kind of unique. You don't typically see something like this. I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it, but for the price, I mean, you don't have time to stand there and think. You can go back through and, you know, eliminate things, and a lot of people do. They throw things back up on the cotton table, or, you know, wherever they got it, and, you know, you can go through and pick the things up they decide they didn't want. So there sometimes becomes a little more selection at the end when you think the selection's over. But I decided for 3 yards for $4, we're gonna take it. This one has no markings on the salvage, so I don't know what it is. I loved it though, and it has a nice weight to it, a nice feel to it. So this is $2.50. And then more metallic. This is Red International Textiles. And this was a $3 piece. And then we have Fabric Traditions from 1992. And this is $1.25 for this piece. And then a stripe. You know, I'm not super big on stripes, but this is Dramatic Effects by Faye Burgos for Marcus Fabrics. And this was $3. No, I don't know if I mentioned that this was $3. Okay, and then we have Bungalow by Joel Dewberry for Free Spirit, Westminster Fabrics. And this is called Empress. And this was $1.25. I loved this. This is beautiful. There was no markings on the salvage of this, but again, it had a nice weight. $3 for this. And another metallic. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of around the flowers here. This is $1.25. It's a yard. It feels like more than a yard. And, you know, sometimes when I go through and I measure these pieces, sometimes it is more than a yard, but they're like, oh, it's a yard. You know, it's a yard and a quarter or something. Marcus Brothers Textiles. And sometimes it's not quite a yard. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a gamble, but overall, like, the value is just unbeatable. So this is Windsor by Hoffman Internationals. Screen print also has some metallic. It's like reminds me of a peacock. $1.25 for a yard. A cute little, I think it's lilac print. There's something, I don't know how we say that. Les Jardins. Probably said it wrong. Also by Hoffman International. And this was $1.25. And we have Wintertime Friends by Teresa somebody for SSI. Cranston print, probably a vintage one. There are some really unique Cranston prints out there. I love florals. I'm a sucker for florals too. Cranston has some gorgeous florals. So $1.25 for that 1 yard piece. And then we have Anna by Anna Griffin Style. This is $1.50. And another Cranston, definitely vintage, little Christmas village kind of motif, unique. And this was $1.50. And then we have a kind of like an evergreen holly thing going on with some pine trees. This is, well, this was printed for Hobby Lobby. Printed in Japan for Hobby Lobby. And it has a little metallic, like around the holly berries, you can kind of see. And this was $1.25. And for Timeless Treasures, 2001. I think this is the partridge in the pear tree. So it has some metallic, $1.25. Oh, I liked this one. Now this does not have anything marked on the salvage, so we're kind of in the dark. Like a pink hummingbird. Reminded me almost of a 40s print, but I don't know that it is. I will eventually do a Google image search on this. A lot of times I can figure out what a fabric is if I do a Google image search. So if you're trying to, figure out a fabric, or you have a fabric and you want more of it, it's a great way to try to find out what the specific name is, or find more of it. So just a little trick that I like to use. So this is $1.25. Again, nice weight. And this is just Holiday Traditions. No, I'm sorry, Holiday Editions by Fabric Quilt. Also has metallic. It's like a poinsettia, holly berry. $3.50 for that piece. Oh, there's a big red poinsettia there. Ooh, that's pretty, huh? Okay. And then we have Old Fashioned Charm by Blackbird Designs from Moda. And this is 2 yards for $3.50. So just a real simple flower there. This reminded me of maybe a 40s print as well. That's why I bought it. It has no marking on the salvage. This was $2.50 a yard, or not $2.50 a yard. It was $2.50 for the cut. And then we have, this is for Marcus Brothers. Now, the salvage on this is not super legible. I believe it's Faye Liverman. But beautiful. $3. And then this is Woodland Friends by Ellen Crimmy Trent for Clothworks. This is kind of a fun print. $3.50 for this piece. And then this, I was like, to buy it, not to buy it. I loved the vibrancy of it. It's a large piece, and it's a heavier weight cotton. So it says approximately 3 yards for $4. It is by Joann Fabrics. And then a white on cream. This is by Joann Fabrics. And this was $2.50. Really liked that. And some pink at last. I feel like the donations, the people must not have favored the real girly prints quite as much as other years I have, I've seen. But this is for Northcott Silk. It's called Plantation. It's designed by Bonnie Ben Stratton. I thought that was pretty. 2 yards for $2.50. And then bricks. Because who doesn't need some brick fabric in their collection? 1994 Concord Fabrics by Joan Kistler. $2. It's kind of fun. And then we have Meadowbrook by Red Wagon's Jerry Kimmel Carr for Benurtix. I don't know how you say that. And this was $3. And then Mayar Silk. And this is a $5 piece for this. Okay, so then I have a collection of some random odds and ends. Of course, I hit the fabric first. Then I went to check out like the needlework kits and the other like things. So there was much less there. And then I checked out the pattern books and the patterns because there's least amount of interest there. So that's how I've kind of worked it. So the pattern booklets or the leaflets and the pattern books were 5 for $1. I just got some unique ones. This is interesting. Pulled thread, fairies. I actually just sold a completed counted cross stitch fairy. That is very similar to this. I don't know if it's in here or not. It's almost like this, but it's got some winter accents on it. Anyways, just some unique ones. Fruits and veggies. Chinese rugs designed for needlepoint. Never have seen anything like this. I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, and then I was just astounded at how cheap the little kits were this year. So this, I don't even know if this is complete. 20 cents. I was like, oh, well, you know, we'll figure it out. But it's to make these little houses. And it looks uncut. Oh, maybe it's been cut a little bit. Have to actually go through that to know for sure. But 20 cents, you know. This was 25 cents. It's a graph gripper pattern holder. This is an Easy Bows. 20 cents. Wooden. I thought this was neat. 2-in-1 ribbon shredder. 10 cents. A little counted cross stitch. Love One Another. 25 cents. Just a bag of some different counted cross stitch cloth for $2. Quite a few in there. Felt Works applique. Old Friends Are the Dearest by Dimensions. 50 cents. Another little counted cross stitch. What did they charge me for this? There was no price on these too. I thought the light blue and light green was really unique. So this one's called Ice Blue. And this one's called Dawn Gray. I think they charged me 10 cents each. It might have been 20 cents. I mean, you can't beat it. 10 cents for this one. And then this is just a little bag of Velcro, self-sticking Velcro that I actually needed some of in my life. So I picked that up for 10 cents. Can't beat it. Pearls and piping. I thought this was neat. Fits all zigzag sewing machines. It's to sew on the like little pearls on a string. 25 cents. 10 cents. There's a couple little vintage kits in here for counted cross stitch little ornaments. Oh, this is $3. This actually has some fabric in it. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but it appears to be some sort of pattern. It was stapled shut. I thought we'd buy it and check it out. These I thought were really neat. So there's like this metallic blue applique fabric. Okay, I got it out of the bag. This is like as vintage as you can get. I don't know if they even still sell this, but it's to create wearable art. It's like super cool. I thought I would try to sell this. Thought somebody out there might be looking for this. And then there's a couple other little iron-on things that I thought they were neat. metallic citrine. How cool, right? I think this is poinsettias. Maybe white poinsettias. I don't know. Another train. Just fun. So all those were $1. And then this was like a 20-cent little bag. This is to make rag rugs with. Some different pieces and equipment to do that with. Some instructions for a braided rug. And then another little kit for some candle wick. 50 cents. And this was like so cool. Oh. So this was 25 cents. Coffee and tea cups, little house. So let's open it up. So there's 2 skeins of embroidery floss. And then this is iced tea, completed. And you will sometimes find partially completed works. You'll find the completed pieces like this, that something needs done with them. Oh, look at that, spiced tea. How cute. Oh, beautiful workmanship. Really neat. Then, so this kind of goes back to the fabric. This is a piece of batik, and I'm assuming this is the place it came from. So this was $3.50. So it seems to be a 2-yard cut. It has a great feel to it. All right, Carabelli Batik at Romney Manor. And this, yeah, I'm guessing someone bought this on a trip. And they have some, I guess, ideas of what you could make with them. You can, a lot of these places, you can also buy like pieces made. Yeah, so I thought that was neat. That's some St. Kitts. There you go. So that was cool. And then lastly, I have my big 31 tote of patterns. So these should all be uncut. I do try to verify that I'm buying uncut patterns. These were 4 for $1. I've been selling a lot of patterns on eBay. So now last year at this sale, the patterns were free. And so a lot of people were like, are the patterns free? Not this year, they weren't. But 4 for $1 is a great price. And patterns are becoming hard to come by. Joann Fabrics is gone. There's not nearly the selection there used to be. But anyways, got lots of really neat ones. I'm not gonna go through and show you all of them. There are 107 patterns here. 107. All sorts of really neat stuff. So that concludes my haul. I hope that you enjoyed checking all this stuff out with me. I wish you great success in finding affordable fabric and sewing and crafting supplies out there in the world. And if this video interested you, I have several others just like it. Fabric hauls from the Goodwill, fabric hauls from Facebook Marketplace, other Salvation Army Fabric Fair videos. I mean, the deals are out there. You just have to find them. But I have a lot more content along those lines if that interests you. And I will link some playlists in my video description. So thank you for watching. Share with me in the comments what you think about what I found, what you like, what interested you. If you have Salvation Army Fabric Fairs near where you are, tell me about it. And I will talk to you again soon.